Hello, core artisans. My name is Shonda, and welcome to my channel Under the Needle. So I am here with an unboxing, and this is new. It's not a new box, but it's new to me. It's been around for a while. I'm not sure how long, but it's been around since at least 2020, because I remember watching some unboxings in 2020. And I think at the time, I was completely new to subscription boxes, and this one had a bit of a higher price point. And so I did not check it out right away. I forgot how much it is, but all that information is in the description, plus a link to the box. Now, I know that this box tends to sell out. It's not always available. Just like So Sampler, like you can't always get it. Sometimes you have to wait and be on the waiting list, and then she'll open it up. And so recently, last month, about the end of the month, I was on YouTube and somebody had mentioned, I don't know if I was on YouTube or I might have gotten an email about it. I'm not sure, but I saw that, I think I got an email. I think I'm on the list for, I always get a phone call at the worst time. But what I was saying was I was on the email list, and I got an email that she had opened up some spots, and so I signed up, and I believe it was like August 27th. And so the website said that the deadline was the 20th. So I didn't think I was going to get this box. I thought I was going to get next month's box. So yay me. So this is the Ginger Quilter Box. I have not watched an unboxing since 2020. So I don't know what's in this box, or the point of this box, or, like Open Gate, it's one small project, one large project. I don't know what this is. Okay. Now, keeping in mind, although I don't know a lot about this box, I did see enough unboxings in 2020 to know that the boxes tend to be a bit holiday themed. So if you watch my channel, I don't really like a whole lot of holiday fabric, but I understood that that was part of that was the only thing I remember about what this was, is that around Halloween, you finna get some Halloween stuff. Around Christmas, you finna get some Christmas stuff. Valentine's Day, you finna get some hearts. You're gonna get some green for St. Patrick's. Like, it's very much that. I'd actually forgotten about that, but now that I see this box, I remember that. It's very much tied to the season. Okay, so let's see what we have here. The Ginger Quilter Box. And there's no, when you open the box, it's just kind of all in here. There's a piece of tissue paper, but it doesn't cover the contents or anything like that. It's just kind of in there. Okay, so this is the Gone Baddie box. We're diving into Halloween a little early, so you can sew this adorable table topper quilt. This is the Baddie Pumpkin pattern by Amaruni Designs. So that's our project. And then our fabric line is Hey Beautiful by My Mind's Eye. And there's some decor, a tool, and a snack. So let's see. So our snack is this lollipop. It's a Halloween lollipop. It has sugar, glucose, natural flavor, and artificial color. So all things considered, not that bad as far as the ingredients go for candy. And then our tool is actually something I own and have owned for, I don't know, 20 years or more. I think this is probably one of the first tools I ever bought, and I never used it. And I still don't use it now, so I don't anticipate using it. It's basically to draw the line when you're making a half square triangle. That's what it's for. And I've got a couple of these. I have this one. I want to say I just broke one. I just broke my Creative Grids one. Just snapped it right in half. That was my fault. I was playing with it because it wasn't completely flat, and so I was trying to see if it had some flex so I could bend it into place, and no. Can't. So I broke it. But I have the Fons and Porter one. But at the end of the day, I just use my regular ruler whenever I'm doing that. I don't ever I don't yeah, so I won't use this. And then we have a little cute little, it says a Halloween wood block decor. So this is what it looks like. This is cute. Produced for the Hearthside collection. Yeah, this is cute. I drink pumpkin spice coffee this season, so this will probably find its way, even though it doesn't match my kitchen. I mean, there's a lot. My Keurig doesn't match my kitchen anymore either because it's red, and my kitchen is no longer red. I still have some stools in my kitchen that are red, so of course they don't match either. I'm not that friggin' picky. I'm not buying a new Keurig just because the one I have doesn't match. But when that sucker dies, I will toss it and get one that like that's black or stainless steel that matches the kitchen better than the red one that I have now. But I've had that sucker since I think I bought that. I bought it right after my hysterectomy. I bought it online at Kohl's. And then on the way home from the hospital, I was married at the time. This was 2015. On the way home from the hospital, I had my husband. Actually, we weren't married yet. He wasn't my husband yet. We got married the following year. But this was 2015, and I had him December. I had him drive me to Kohl's, and I walked my tail in there in pain, trying to hurry up before the pain meds that the hospital gave me completely wore off so I could get home and take something else. But stopped at Kohl's right after my hysterectomy surgery. Well, not right after. You were in the hospital for a few days. But on the way home from the hospital, I made that man stop at Kohl's so I could get my daggone Keurig. So I've had it since December of 2015. It actually did die on me, but it was within warranty. And those people sent me another one. They sent me another one. I doubt they do that anymore. I don't know. Y'all tell me if you have experience. But in 2015, when my Keurig died, I went to their website and filed a claim, and they sent me a new Keurig. So I can say they used to have really great customer service. Not sure about now, but it used to be really great. No arguing, no haggling, no difficulties. Just shipped me a new Keurig. I want to say it was like 18 months in. But this is pretty cute. So this will probably, like I said, this will be end up in my kitchen over by my coffee pods because I feel like that'll be cute. And then our pattern. Let's see. I want to show you this without, okay, I can. I don't want to give away any of the, so that's what it looks like. That's what our pattern looks like. And let's see, let's look here. So the fabric requirements, because that should match what we have here. Oh, and okay, this is kind of neat. So so I'll say this. The only thing about doing a live unboxing is that there's going to be sometimes I'll do an unboxing and I'll say something is something, and then later someone will correct me in the comments. And the thing is that later I'll realize the mistake that I made. But when I'm just kind of live, and I don't edit this, so it's not like I sit and look at it and then, or hit pause and then look at everything and then shove it back in the box and then come back and be like, so, and then act like I'm seeing it for the first time. No, I'm really seeing it for the first time. So there might be things that I don't pick up on right away. So it's not just that. So we have here we have the table topper, and then we have a pillow or mini quilt. And there are video resources. I think that's kind of cool. So there's a video resource to a YouTube video for putting a hidden zipper pillow back. There's a binding tutorial as well. And then, of course, there's a link to the pattern author's YouTube channel. for other helpful videos. So it says that, well, I'll just show you guys the fabric here. Now, I think also we get the, do we get the backing? I feel like we get the backing. It's been a while since I watched an unboxing. But we have this pretty meaty piece of fabric here. This is at least a yard, if I had to guess. It's got some cute little prints on it, little writing, little typography. And we have this print here. Actually, that other piece feels like it might be like a yard and a half. This feels more like a yard. And we have this piece here, which looks like maybe 4 inches or 4.5 inches by width of fabric. Oh, there's more than one. There's a few prints here. So we have 1, 2, hey baby, 3, 4. So these, what are these, 4 inches by half a width of fabric or something like that? That's what it looks like. And then we have this one as well. So I guess we have coordinating prints because we have 4 of these as well. So we've got this, 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 and this, these 4. And then we have this cute little ghost print. This looks like about half a fat quarter maybe. And then we have this print here, which I'm guessing might be the binding. I don't know. So, okay. So looking at this, so we need 3 fat quarters. A fat quarter for the bat, a fat quarter for the stars, and a fat quarter for the pumpkins. So I don't know what's what. Yeah, I don't know what's what here. I don't know what's what. Yeah, I don't know which is supposed to go for what. It does say that for the pumpkin stems, you can just use scraps. Okay. So it's completely scrappy. Okay, so what they did, these black fabrics are for the bats. So the pattern was written for a singular fabric for the bats, but instead of a singular fabric, we got 4 fabrics to make scrappy bats. That's what we got. So these together are about a fat quarter, right? And then for the pumpkins, we're making scrappy pumpkins. And so these 4 fabrics are to make the pumpkins. So here you can kind of see each of these pumpkins will be scrappy. And then each of these bats will also be scrappy. And then we have these, looks like 4 cornerstones. It's backwards, so I get the direction wrong every time. Okay, so that's kind of cool. And then your background fabric, which she recommends not be directional. This has to be our background. So that makes sense. And it says that for background, you need 3/4 of a yard. Let's see what we got. Yep, we got 3/4 of a yard. And then for your backing fabric, and this must be for the stars, I guess. This must be the fat quarter for the stars. And the stars are here in the corner. They don't stand out very well because that's a star. And I guess it's because you've got this gray fabric on this background. And so in this kind of picture that's kind of far away, That doesn't even stand out as a star. So trying to see if she used the same fabric. It's kind of hard to tell in the picture, but I don't think she used this ghost fabric. But she did use a different gray. Okay, so that's the star fabric, and then of course this is going to be our backing. And it is, yeah, it's exactly a yard. So let's tally this up, shall we? How much fabric are we getting here? Add it up. Okay, so that's, and of course we have a 1/4 yard for the binding, which is of course this, because why not a stripe, right? So that's 1, 2, 2 3/4 yards. So I guess for the pumpkin stems, we're using scraps from our stash. Or we're using scraps that might be left over from our cutting of the bats. So it looks like in here, all of the pumpkin stems are black. So I'm having to guess that we'll have leftover scraps when we cut our pumpkins in order to do those pieces, I guess. And if you want them to be green, you can use some green from your stash. I think some brown might be nice. I don't know. Okay, so yeah. So the construction here, not bad. It's a lot of cutting. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm not going to be making this. I am not going to be making this. Maybe next Halloween, but I will not be making this right now. 54 1.5 inch squares. I'm not doing it. And it looks like you need the 54 because everything has to be snowballed. Which makes sense, because if you look at the construction of these pumpkins, I don't know if you can tell, but each square is going to be snowballed. So that's 4 for each pumpkin. And there's 12 pumpkins, so that's 48. And then you can tell that there's some additional snowballing to make the bats. So, no. Won't be making this right now. But I do think this is a cute project. I think this is a cute table topper. And I do like this box. Now, I wish I remembered what I paid for it. Let's look that up again. I believe did I get a discount on the first box? I feel like I might have gotten a discount on the first box. Okay. So my total charge was $61. And I feel like I might have got $5 off my first box. So this is not an inexpensive box. And I'm really not sure. Now, that does include the shipping. So subtract $8. So that's 57. I'm assuming $8 shipping. So I'm 57. I'm not sure because we have 2 3/4 yards of fabric. So that's 2.75 times, let's say $13 a yard. And then we have this pattern. Let's say $10 for the pattern. And then we have this ruler. I don't know how much this ruler cost, but let's say it costs $10. Um, so that brings us to $55. And then, you know, these two would round out the rest of the box. So without the sale, without the first box discount, I believe this would have been $66. So is the value here? Yes, there's $66 worth in this box. Yes. And then when you figure the fact that they're shipping, so the value's here. I'm still not sure. I'm still not sure. And honestly, maybe I should have, there's really no good time to wait. I mean, to do it. Like I could see maybe, because now I'm like, my next box might be turkeys. And then the box after that's probably going to be Christmas. Right? So maybe a good time for me on this box would be like April, May, June, July, August, because it's just summer and there's no like real big holiday other than 4th of July. So yeah, I'd probably get Americana at some point, which of all the things, that's the thing that I like the least is red, just red, white, and blue. It doesn't appeal to me. It's fine on a flag. I just don't like to sew with it. I don't. And that's not just that. I mean, that's just my least favorite of all of the themed fabric. Probably Americana would be my least favorite, and then right up there next to it would be Valentine's Day. No, St. Patrick's Day would have to be dead last. But I feel like there's not a lot of that, right? Like I feel like there's not like a booming St. Patty's Day fabric industry, right? Like at least I think. I don't know. So yeah, I feel like the value's here. I do think this is a good project. I'm not going to be making it. I do really like this. This is going in my kitchen right next to my pumpkin spice coffee. The lollipop, it does look like it's kind of like mom and pop, like it was like handmade. It seems, I don't know. It seems like it has a lot less unnatural ingredients and chemicals in it than a lot of food products and items do. So I don't know. I get why this came with the project, because with all the snowballing, there are going to be a lot of lines that we're going to have to make corner to corner. That being said, a regular ruler can do that. So I feel like we could have got just, I would have preferred just a creative grid 6.5 inch. Well, that would have been too expensive. We can't get that. We're not getting that. But even like the creative grids, 1.5 or 1 inch ruler. Well, not this one, not this tiny little square, but I think it's 1.5 by 5 or like 1.5 by 6. That would have been cool. Or I don't know, anything else other than this. I think the reason why I never used this, even when, because I didn't understand its purpose when I first bought it. Because I was a brand new quilter. There was no YouTube. And I didn't really know what this was or how to use it until like years later. Because I didn't know what a half square triangle was. Like I didn't know. I was brand spanking new. And I went into a quilt shop, and this was probably the least expensive thing I could find. I think I bought this, and I bought the those two weird squares that, not those two weird triangle shapes. I can't think of what it's called. I got too many, but it's like, it has a weird name like Iron and Sickle, Peak and Valley. They're like companion angle. There's the companion angle and something else. I bought those. I still don't really know how to use those, but only because I don't want to. Bonnie Hunter has some really great tips on how to use those rulers. Okay, so if I want to know how to use those rulers, I can certainly learn how to use them. I just don't need to right now. So, but yeah, there's a companion angle and something else. And then they have like a name where you buy them together. They have a name where they go together. Y'all probably know what it is. Y'all can tell me in the comments. But I didn't know how to use it. And then when I did know how to use it, I needed the line to go all the way. You see how there's breaks? So you'd have line, break, line, break, line, break, line. If I'm going to draw a line, I'd rather just have a continuous line, right? Because if I'm using this, that means I got to keep picking up. If it's long, that means I got to keep picking up my pencil. Now for a 1.5 inch, you know, that probably be fine, right? But if it's a longer piece, then I've got to go down, pick up my pencil, go down, pick up my pencil, go down. I'd rather just, so I don't know. It's just it's not the most efficient tool for me, but it makes sense because this has been around long before there was a Creative Grids. Like this tool has been around, like I said, this tool was around before YouTube. This tool was around before all of that, all of the modern day quilting stuff. Like I believe this was around before we even had 4 at a time half square triangles and 8 at a time half square triangles, right? We were just making them 2 at a time. And that was like life altering, right? Because before you had to cut the squares in half and then sew them back together. And it was like working on the bias and things got out of shape. So then when they found out, it's like, wait a minute, we can cut it apart after. We can draw the line and cut it apart after. That was like kind of revolutionary in the world of quilting, right? So this was at that time. So it's a dated tool, but it still can come in handy. I just personally prefer if I'm going to take the time to draw a line, and I'm not going to use diagonal seam tape or just a line on my machine or something like that. I'd rather just have a continuous line with a regular ruler, and I can just shoom down it. Or I can use my Fons and Porter one or my Creative Grids one, even though I broke it, and I can just center the center line, and I can just make a continuous line on both sides. I don't know. But that's the Ginger Quilter Box. I guess these are just my first impressions. You know, I know people love and adore this box. I'm not sure yet, but I'm not trying to be married to it. But the whole point, and I think I've said this 10,000 times, the whole point of when I first did a subscription box, and I believe my first one was Creative Notions, the whole point of it was to do it for a few months and then stop and try something else. And then what kind of happened was I did Creative Grids for like months and months and months, and then I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then because I wasn't a fan of the projects, and I think it was just because this was like 2020. Like the Creative Notions box was rather new. I think I might have did that box like in their 4th or 5th month. Like they hadn't been out that long. And we were in the dead of the pandemic, and sourcing was difficult and things were just difficult. And so I feel like a lot of it was just that it was hard to source fabric. It was hard to source items for the box. And I just personally wasn't, I didn't make a single project. I think I did it for like 6 months and I didn't make a single project. And I wasn't excited to make any other projects either. There was no excitement for me to make any of that stuff. And so I stopped that. And then I did Pre-Cuts Quilt Box, but they kind of ticked me off because they had like messed up my account or messed up my order, or they did something. And I didn't like the customer service aspect of how they handled it. So I canceled that box. And then that's how I ended up with Stashing with Stephanie, which I loved and did for a very long time until I stopped it. And apparently I wasn't the only one who stopped it. And I feel really bad right now because I guess they lost so many subscribers that they could not keep the subscription going anymore. At one point, they were doing so well that she was able to bring her husband into the business. So she and her husband were both working for the business. But when the economy hit that downturn, it just got to be too much because they had grown so much that they had gotten an office space and they had hired a staff. And then when things started to slow down, well, first of all, things started to get more and more expensive, right? It's more expensive to buy stuff. It's more expensive to ship, right? Fabric is more expensive. Notions are more expensive. So there's that aspect, right? And then on top of that, they lost subscriptions. I think she said they lost 300 subscribers. And I know she said at one point they were doing like $1 million a month. And so it's not just the cost of the box. Those subscribers would then, go on to buy more coordinating fabric or finishing kits. So they had just lost so much money that her husband had to stop working for the business. And then he was actually working 2 jobs to try to keep everything going. And it just wasn't sustainable. And so they are no longer going to be selling fabric. They are no longer selling kits. They are no longer doing the Stash It with Stephanie subscription. So it's just really horrible to see a business just kind of grow like that and grow so quickly and then fall just as quickly just because of these economic times that we're living in, right? And we're all feeling it a little bit. So, yeah. Anyway, just so I've talked too much. But just to recap, we have our lollipop. We have our quick quarter tool for drawing lines on the back of fabric to make half square triangles and quarter square triangles. We have our cute little pumpkin spice. We have our pattern for our project. And then we have the fabric for our project. We have some 4 pieces of black for the bats, and we have 4 pieces of orange for our pumpkins, and we have our fabric for our stars, and we have our background, and we have our backing. You know what I might do? I think what I'm going to do is this, because this is the only way. I think what I might do is, and I'm not saying right now, I'm not saying right now, but I think this project might get cut out, right? Because it's already kind of pre-cut, right? Because the backing doesn't need to be cut. It's the back. So that's easy. And the pumpkins, like, they're already kind of almost like pre-cut. I just have to throw a little starch on this iron and cut some squares out of this. And same with the bat fabric. All I've got to do is give it a press and cut some squares out of this. The background might take a while to cut because I've got to cut 54 1.5 inch squares, but in addition to the rest of the pieces. So I think I might just cut this out. I think I might cut this project out, even the binding, and leave it in this box, right? And then when I'm ready, it's ready. So even if I just want to I could use it as a leader and ender project even, just to snowball the pumpkins or something like that. So yeah, that's something that I might do. Because, I mean, if y'all watching me right now, y'all know I ain't trying to deal with a bunch of little pieces. I'm not. I don't want to. So, yeah. Oh, so the October, she says, looking forward, she says she's ready for fall. The October box will be full of cozy and warm fall tones. I am definitely looking forward to the October box. I can't wait to put the finishing touches on all these goodies for you. So, that is the Ginger Quilter Box. Alright, so that is it for me, guys, and I will see you next video.